In this video, I'm going to explain a little bit about the energy of children. Why do children come here? What are they meant to teach us? And how it works energetically, at least as far as I have seen from all the sessions that I've been giving. So what I saw, for example, in my brother's case, was that children really pick when they come to this earth. So the parents can say, I'm ready to be pregnant, but if the child is not ready, then the parents won't be pregnant. So I feel like the child is actually playing a pivotal role in deciding when and how to come to planet Earth. So for example, in the case of my brother, they had already 2 beautiful girls, and my brother really didn't want any kids anymore. But then his wife really felt like, hey, there should be one more. So I could see it energetically, like this third one, this beautiful little girl that got born now, was knocking on the door energetically. She was knocking, and she was knocking mainly to the wife of my brother, saying, hey, to make this family complete, there needs to be one more child. So she kept on knocking, and at one point they had to give in, and the beautiful girl got born, which both my brother and his wife are very, very happy with. So even though mentally we might make the idea how many children we want, what kind of children we want, in the end it's the children that have already decided which parents they're going to come down to, and they pick their parents when they're in the universe. So they pick how they're going to integrate and what kind of lessons they want to learn. And these lessons are largely correlated with the parents that they pick, with the family that they pick, with the brothers and sisters that they pick. Also the names. In my case, I was spiritually pregnant for a period of 3 months. So I haven't told many people this story, but at some point on King's Day, it was a very important day in Holland when we celebrate the King's birthday. I woke up in the middle of the night on a full moon, and I heard this voice really, really loud in my head, and the voice said, "You are pregnant. You are pregnant," 3 times. And then I felt the brightest light come down from the sky, come down from the universe, wherever, into my belly. For about a minute, it was the brightest light that I'd ever felt. And then from that moment, I just knew that it was true. I could feel 2 people inside of me. And maybe some of you that are watching are familiar with this feeling. Maybe you feel when you are pregnant right now, that there's really another person inside of you. And I could communicate to her from that moment onwards. It was a very beautiful experience, very, very frightening as well, because it really confronted me with the fear of who I am to provide life to someone else. I didn't feel ready at all at that point to give birth. So I spent a lot of time talking to her and basically having a discussion with her, explaining to her that I wasn't ready at that time. So in this case, she was very strong, but I also had some free will to play in, and luckily the energetic consciousness to be able to have conversations with her. But it was wild because I didn't get my period for 3 months. I gained 5 kilos, but the test kept on being negative. So scientifically I was not pregnant, but everything inside of me was pregnant. And I'm sharing this story because I remember her already knocking on my door way before. I was walking the streets of Portugal where I was living at that time, and I saw this house with lua on top of it, and lua means moon in Portuguese. And I just knew there was such a strong inner calling with it that I knew that my first child wanted to be born and wanted to be named that way. So it didn't really feel like I picked the name. It felt like the child really picked the name for me. So these are just 2 examples of how strong the consciousness of a child is. And then often we as parents think, okay, we're learning the children certain things. We are there to educate our children, to teach our children. But in reality, what I see very often is that the children, just like animals, come into somebody's family to teach the parents certain things that they're struggling with. So they're showing them certain sides of life that maybe they are not so naturally inclined to focus on. So just today I asked a beautiful little father here that walked around with his son of about a year, hey, what did you learn from your child? And he said, well, what I learned is that he just kept on falling. He falls about 100 times a day and he gets back up. He fell, he comes back up. So I really learned persistence of him. And I didn't have this naturally so much inside of me. So our children really come to teach us certain lessons. This is the soul contract that we make together with the child when we are preparing for life on earth, before we are incarnating on earth. I feel like there's something more that I need to mention about this topic. There's a lot that I can explain, but I'm just checking in what it is that is important to share with you. Animals have a very similar path. So animals also come to our lives for a reason. They come to help us embrace a certain quality that's not inside of us, or help us get acceptance of a quality that we tend to judge. So with animals it's a little bit different, but it's also fairly similar. I might make another movie specifically about animals, but it's a nice exercise to see, hey, what's my child really teaching me? What can I learn from her? What can I learn from him? And what can I learn from the animals that are currently surrounding me in my life, whether they're yours or not yours? Yeah, I hope that this was helpful. Let me know how you think about your children and what they came to bring you spiritually. And yeah, sending you so much love.